Kyle Turner walked slowly through Aurora's corridors, feeling the calm and unity that had settled over the ship. Yet deep inside, he still worried. Peace had been achieved, but he knew well that it must be carefully protected. Each victory had been hard-won, and each lesson learned through hardship. Captain Olivia Grant approached Kyle, her expression calm but serious. Ambassador Turner, Earth has sent an urgent message. They want a full report directly from you and Ambassador Tylia. Kyle nodded, understanding clearly. Earth's leaders needed reassurance. He immediately sought out Ambassador Tylia. Finding her speaking quietly with Mia Simmons and Nira, he approached respectfully, his voice gentle yet firm. Ambassador Tylia, Earth has requested we speak to them directly, Kyle explained calmly. They seek reassurance about our peace efforts. Tylia nodded gracefully. Of course, Ambassador Turner. We will gladly speak with them. Kyle organized the communication carefully, setting up a secure link to Earth's highest leaders. Ambassador Tylia stood beside him, her presence calm and supportive. When the communication began, Kyle spoke first, clearly and calmly. We have faced challenges, but our relationship with the Zoltar remains strong. Trust and openness guide us. Ambassador Tylia spoke next, her gentle voice clear and reassuring. We deeply value humanity's courage and cooperation. Peace is stronger now than ever before. Earth's leaders listened carefully, asking thoughtful questions. Kyle and Tylia answered openly, describing each challenge they'd overcome and the lessons learned. Ambassador Turner, one Earth leader, spoke seriously. Do you believe humanity can fully trust the Zoltar? Absolutely, Kyle responded without hesitation. Trust has brought strength, unity, and peace. Ambassador Tylia added gently, we have grown closer through understanding. Fear divides, but trust unites. Earth's leaders seemed satisfied, encouraged by their sincerity. They ended communication warmly, promising continued support for diplomatic efforts. Afterward, Kyle and Tylia spoke quietly together, deeply grateful for Earth's support. Ambassador Turner, Tylia said thoughtfully, humanity's willingness to embrace trust has been inspiring. It's because you showed us the true power of openness, Kyle responded sincerely. We've grown stronger together. As days passed peacefully, Kyle noticed Aurora's crew feeling genuinely united. Ethan Brooks and Ryan Ellis closely monitored security, ensuring continued safety. Mia and Nira remained deeply engaged, sharing knowledge openly. Suddenly, Aurora's sensors detected a distress signal from a nearby sector. Captain Olivia immediately informed Kyle and Tylia, who agreed swiftly to investigate. It might be a test of our trust, Kyle observed calmly. We must respond openly and carefully, Tylia replied. Aurora arrived quickly at the location, discovering a damaged ship drifting helplessly. Scans showed it was neither human nor Zoltar. Olivia ordered a cautious approach, ready for anything. Kyle opened communication channels clearly, speaking calmly and openly. Unknown vessel, this is Ambassador Kyle Turner of Aurora. We detected your distress signal and are here to assist. After tense moments, a weak voice responded hesitantly. We are the Relians. Our ship is badly damaged. We feared no one would help. Ambassador Tylia spoke gently. We offer peace and aid. Allow us to assist. The Relians agreed gratefully. Aurora's crew carefully assisted, repairing essential systems swiftly. The Relians observed everything, deeply moved by human and Zoltar cooperation. We didn't expect such kindness, the Relian captain admitted softly. Trust and cooperation guide us, Kyle explained warmly. We learned strength comes through unity. The Relians thanked them sincerely, sharing their own story of isolation and suspicion. Kyle listened carefully, seeing clearly how their story mirrored humanity's past fears. Join our alliance, Kyle offered sincerely. Together, we can overcome isolation and build lasting peace. The Relian captain agreed, deeply moved. Ambassador Tylia warmly welcomed them, promising openness and trust. returning to Aurora. Kyle and Talia shared their success with Earth's leaders, who praised their courage and compassion. Captain Olivia smiled warmly, proud of her crew's actions. Kyle reflected deeply on their journey. Each challenge had strengthened their understanding, proving clearly how trust and openness always triumph over fear and suspicion. Days later, a formal gathering aboard Aurora welcomed the Relians officially into the growing alliance. Kyle stood proudly beside Ambassador Talia, addressing everyone warmly. Today, we welcome new friends. Our unity grows stronger each day, guided by trust and openness. Together, our future holds endless possibilities. Warm applause filled the gathering, signaling genuine unity and hope. Kyle felt deeply grateful, knowing each hardship had led to this powerful moment of peace. As celebrations continued, Ambassador Talia approached Kyle quietly, her gentle smile reassuring. Ambassador Turner, our journey has shown clearly that unity and trust create true strength. Kyle smiled warmly in return, deeply humbled. Ambassador Talia, together, we've built lasting peace. Our alliance will continue growing stronger. Standing together, Kyle felt profound hope and satisfaction. Through trust, openness, and cooperation, humanity had found its true place among the stars, ready to face any challenge with unity and strength. Kyle Turner watched the steady arrival of more human ships at the edge of Zoltar space, his heart heavy with worry. Despite Captain Mason Carter's peaceful return to Earth, some humans still felt uncertain about the Zoltar. Ambassador Talia stood quietly beside Kyle, her calm expression masking deep concern. Ambassador Turner, Talia spoke softly, we must reassure them again. Kyle nodded, knowing clearly the importance of their continued efforts. We'll contact each ship personally, Ambassador Talia. They'll see the truth. Captain Olivia Grant immediately arranged secure communication channels aboard Aurora. Kyle prepared himself, breathing deeply before addressing the newly arrived human ships. This is Ambassador Kyle Turner aboard Aurora, he began steadily. We welcome your arrival in peace and friendship. The Zoltar have shown only kindness and openness. Please hold your positions, and we will provide clear evidence of our peaceful relations. Slowly, responses came from the ships, cautious but open. Kyle felt encouraged by their willingness to listen. Mia Simmons and Nira quickly provided clear, detailed recordings of peaceful interactions between humans and Zoltar. They shared these with each ship carefully, hoping to ease lingering fears. Gradually, tensions began easing, and Kyle felt some relief. Still, he understood clearly that trust would need constant care. Suddenly, technician Ryan Ellis alerted Captain Olivia. Captain, another ship is approaching rapidly, and it's broadcasting hostile signals. Identify it, Olivia ordered sharply. Ryan quickly responded. The ship identifies as USS Vanguard, commanded by Captain Victor Hawley. Kyle felt his heart sink. He knew Hale's reputation for aggression. He quickly opened a communication channel, speaking calmly but urgently. Captain Hawley, this is Ambassador Turner. We are in peaceful contact with the Zoltar. Please halt your aggressive approach immediately. Hawley responded coldly, anger clear in his voice. Ambassador Turner, you're betraying humanity by trusting these aliens. We'll protect human interests ourselves. Kyle's voice remained steady, though he felt fear clearly. Captain Hawley, aggression will harm us all. Please stand down. Let us discuss peacefully. No, Hawley replied sharply, ending communication abruptly. Kyle turned quickly to Ambassador Talia, who remained calm despite Hale's aggressive stance. Ambassador, we must prepare. Talia nodded gravely. We understand, Ambassador Turner. The Zoltar will remain peaceful, but we must defend ourselves if necessary. Kyle quickly informed Commander Laura Hayes aboard USS Sentinel, who agreed to help mediate the situation. Hayes contacted Captain Hawley directly, speaking calmly and firmly. Captain Hawley, this is Commander Hayes. Ambassador Turner speaks truthfully. There is no threat from the Zolther. Stand down immediately. Hawley ignored her, continuing his aggressive approach. Olivia quickly ordered Aurora into a defensive position, unwilling to engage aggressively but ready to protect their new allies. Mia and Nira urgently communicated with Earth's leadership, providing clear evidence of Hale's aggressive actions. Earth's leaders quickly responded, sending urgent orders to Captain Hawley to halt immediately. Hall refused stubbornly, determined to show force. Kyle felt helpless as Vanguard drew nearer. Ambassador Tylia remained calm, comforting Kyle gently. "We will not lose hope," Tylia assured him. "Your people are wise and compassionate." Kyle nodded, feeling deeply grateful for her steady presence. Olivia continued attempts at peaceful communication, hoping Hawley would reconsider. Ethan Brooks urgently informed Kyle, "We've detected unauthorized signals between Vanguard and an unknown source. It might explain Hale's aggression." "Find that source quickly," Kyle ordered. Ethan and Ryan worked tirelessly, tracing the signals carefully. Soon, they discovered signals originating from another hidden outpost near Zolter space. "It seems Shaw have more followers," Ethan reported gravely. "They're encouraging Hale's aggression." Kyle immediately contacted Commander Hayes, sharing Ethan's discovery. Hayes agreed to lead a team to investigate the outpost immediately. Meanwhile, Kyle continued urgent communications with Hall. "Captain Hawley, you're being manipulated. Gregory Shaw's followers seek to provoke unnecessary war." Hawley hesitated. Briefly, confusion evident. "Prove it," he demanded harshly. Kyle quickly transmitted Ethan's evidence to Vanguard. Hawley examined the proof silently, uncertainty finally crossing his face. "Stand down," Kyle urged calmly, hoping desperately Hawley would listen. Finally, Hawley responded cautiously. "We'll hold position temporarily, Ambassador, but we need absolute proof." Commander Hayes arrived quickly at the hidden outpost, discovering clear evidence of Shaw's remaining followers. She swiftly apprehended the saboteurs, securing proof of their manipulations. Hayes immediately shared her findings with Hawley. Hawley examined the evidence quietly, finally accepting the truth. "Ambassador Turner, we were deceived. USS Vanguard stands down." Relief flooded Kyle, and he turned gratefully to Ambassador Tylia. "We've succeeded again, Ambassador." Tylia smiled warmly. Through trust and cooperation, Ambassador Turner. Kyle quickly shared their success with Earth's leaders, who reacted positively. They promised further measures to prevent future conflicts and encourage continued diplomatic efforts. Kyle and Ambassador Tylia organized another peaceful gathering aboard Aurora, inviting all human captains and Zolther representatives. Gathering became a powerful demonstration of unity, strengthening bonds greatly. Captain Hawley attended the gathering humbly, openly apologizing for his aggression. "Ambassador Turner, Ambassador Tylia, I was wrong. Fear blinded me." Ambassador Tylia responded gently. "Fear is strong, Captain Hawley, but trust is stronger. Together, we build peace." Kyle watched proudly as trust replaced suspicion among human captains. Olivia, Mia, Ethan, and Ryan joined their Zolter counterparts, sharing stories openly and warmly. During the gathering, Ambassador Tylia quietly approached Kyle again. "Ambassador Turner, humanity continues to inspire us. You've shown courage in the face of great challenges." "Only through cooperation," Kyle replied sincerely. "Together, we've proven trust can overcome fear." Ambassador Tylia smiled warmly. "Exactly. Ambassador, our bond strengthens continually." Kyle reflected deeply, grateful for every challenge they'd faced together. Each crisis had brought humans and Zolther closer, teaching valuable lessons about fear, trust, and cooperation. Finally, Kyle addressed the entire gathering, speaking clearly and confidently. "Today, we reaffirm our commitment to peace, humanity, and the Zolther have proven that trust and understanding overcome fear and suspicion." Warm applause followed his words, filling Kyle with deep satisfaction. Ambassador Tylia stood beside him, smiling gently. Together, humans and Zother had overcome misunderstandings, fear, and hostility. Kyle knew clearly their unity would continue, growing stronger, creating a brighter, peaceful future for all. As the gathering continued joyfully, Kyle felt genuine hope for humanity's place in the galaxy. He knew future challenges might arise, but he also understood clearly that humans and Zother could overcome anything together. Standing quietly beside Ambassador Tylia, Kyle felt immense pride and gratitude. Through trust and cooperation, they had achieved true peace, and nothing could diminish the strength of the bonds they'd forged together. Kyle Turner and Ambassador Tylia stood silently together, watching Gregory Shaw being led away by security officers. The relief Kyle felt was deep, but he knew that many questions remained unanswered. Who else supported Shaw's views? How deep? Did the betrayal reach? Aboard Aurora, Captain Olivia Grant immediately secured the ship, ordering thorough checks in every department. Security Officer Ethan Brooks and Technician Ryan Ellis oversaw the careful search, ensuring no other threats remained hidden. Kyle turned to Ambassador Tylia, grateful for her calm and steady presence. Ambassador, we need to understand more. Clearly why Shaw did this. His reasons might help prevent future conflicts. Tylia nodded thoughtfully. You're correct, Ambassador Turner. Understanding motives is essential for lasting peace. Commander Laura Hayes offered her assistance, suggesting an interview with Shaw aboard USS Sentinel. Kyle agreed and joined Hayes aboard her warship, ready to confront Shaw directly. In the quiet confines of an interrogation room, Kyle and Hayes faced Gregory Shaw. Shaw's expression was hard, his eyes filled with defiance and anger. Gregory. Kyle began calmly. Why choose violence and sabotage when peace was within reach? Peace weakens humanity, Shaw snapped coldly. We should dominate, not negotiate. Strength guarantees survival. Strength without wisdom destroys everything. Hayes responded firmly. Your actions nearly caused war, not strength, Shaw laughed bitterly. You're fools. Eventually, you'll see. Diplomacy makes humanity vulnerable. Kyle listened carefully, saddened by Shaw's hateful words. He realized Shaw represented deep fears within humanity, fears they needed to address openly. Returning to Aurora, Kyle shared Shaw's words with Ambassador Tylia and Olivia. Mia Simmons and Nira joined the conversation, offering insights into Shaw's psychological motives. Fear drives him, Mia explained softly. Fear of the unknown and fear of losing control. Exactly, Nira agreed gently. The unknown often creates fear. Overcoming fear requires openness and trust. Kyle considered their words seriously. Humanity needed to trust and overcome its fears to coexist peacefully with alien civilizations. He decided a joint human-Zother cultural exchange might reduce fear and build deeper trust. Ambassador Tylia enthusiastically supported Kyle's proposal. Plans quickly began, involving both human and Zother communities. Mia and Nira organized the details carefully, choosing participants who could represent their peoples positively and openly. Soon, humans and Zother began exchanging visits, sharing cultures openly and joyfully. Kyle watched interactions closely, pleased to see genuine friendships forming. Despite the progress, Kyle felt uneasy. Shaw's followers had been captured, but lingering distrust still existed among some Aurora crew. Members Ethan and Ryan diligently monitored the ship's security, alert for any remaining doubts or resentments. Kyle decided it was vital to openly address these concerns. He organized a ship-wide meeting aboard Aurora, inviting everyone to speak freely. At the meeting, Kyle spoke first, clearly and calmly. I understand some still feel uneasy. Let's discuss this openly, so trust can grow stronger. Crew members hesitantly shared concerns, admitting fears of vulnerability and loss of control. Kyle listened patiently, responding respectfully and honestly. Ambassador Tylia spoke as well, reassuring everyone warmly. We share your concerns, but together, trust can overcome fear. Slowly, Tensions eased as honest discussions continued. Mia and Nira highlighted positive examples from cultural exchanges, demonstrating clearly how understanding replaced fear. Gradually, crew members felt reassured, realizing openness strengthened them more than fear ever could. Kyle saw a renewed sense of unity aboard Aurora. Feeling hopeful, Kyle turned his attention to Earth's leaders, sharing progress openly. Earth reacted positively, supporting continued cooperation. However, new challenges soon emerged. A sudden report arrived, alerting them to another human ship approaching Zolther space aggressively. Kyle immediately contacted the new ship, identifying Captain Mason Carter aboard the vessel USS Guardian. "Captain Carter," Kyle spoke urgently, "stand down your approach. We have peaceful relations with the Zolther." Carter responded sharply, suspicion evident. "We've heard reports of hostility. We're here to protect human interests." "Those reports were false," Kyle explained carefully. "We resolved the issues peacefully." "Please stand down." Carter hesitated, clearly suspicious. "Ambassador." Tylia joined Kyle, speaking directly and sincerely to Carter. "Captain Carter," Tylia's gentle voice carried strength, "we offer peace and friendship. Please trust Ambassador Turner." Carter paused, uncertain. Finally, after a tense silence, he replied cautiously, "All right, we'll hold position and observe." Kyle sighed deeply, relieved but troubled by Carter's caution. Clearly, Shaw's influence had spread further than he'd realized. Kyle and Ambassador Tylia discussed urgently how to address widespread fears among humanity. Together, they planned broader communications to Earth, openly sharing successes, and clearly explaining peace benefits. Mia and Nira created educational materials, carefully and clearly explaining Zolther culture and intentions. The materials spread widely on Earth, reducing suspicion and building trust. Kyle closely monitored USS Guardian's reactions, noticing Captain Carter slowly becoming less aggressive. Eventually, Carter requested a peaceful meeting, hoping to understand Zolther intentions personally. The meeting was arranged carefully, hosted aboard Aurora. Kyle welcomed Carter warmly, introducing him to Ambassador Tylia personally. Carter initially appeared wary, but Tylia's sincerity quickly eased his caution. "I apologize for our caution," Carter finally admitted honestly. "We acted from fear." "Fear is natural," Tylia responded kindly. "Trust builds slowly but creates lasting peace." Kyle watched their interaction, hopeful and encouraged. Carter left, the meeting genuinely reassured, promising to openly support peace efforts upon returning to Earth. Weeks passed peacefully, trust deepening steadily between humans and Zolther. Kyle reflected quietly on the difficult journey they face, appreciating how far they come. Ambassador Tylia approached Kyle quietly one evening, smiling gently. "Ambassador Turner, your courage inspired us greatly. Humanity showed strength through openness and trust." Kyle felt deeply humbled. "Our strength came from everyone's courage, Ambassador Tylia. Together, we faced our fears." She nodded warmly, gazing thoughtfully at the stars outside the window. "Our partnership holds great promise." "Yes," Kyle agreed sincerely. "We learned true strength lies in unity, not fear." Ambassador Tylia smiled warmly. "Exactly. Our shared future holds endless possibilities." Kyle stood beside her quietly, feeling profound gratitude and optimism. Despite initial conflicts, they created genuine peace and understanding. He felt certain humanity and the Zolther would continue facing challenges together, stronger and wiser than ever before. Kyle stood beside Ambassador Tylia, feeling the heavy silence that filled the room. The discovery of Gregory Shaw's involvement had stunned everyone. The peaceful atmosphere that once existed between humans and the Zolther now trembled uncertainly. Kyle knew he had to act swiftly and carefully to prevent disaster. On the Aurora, Security Officer Ethan Brooks organized his teams to capture Shaw's associates. The traitors had hidden themselves cleverly, blending into the crew and using familiar places to avoid suspicion. Ethan instructed his teams clearly. cautioning them to act quickly but avoid panic. Ryan Ellis worked closely with Ethan, analyzing ship records. He traced back the traders' movements, discovering they had accessed communications and engineering areas several times. Ryan shared this information with Ethan, helping narrow down the suspects' current locations. Meanwhile, Kyle and Ambassador Talia waited anxiously aboard the Zoltar ship. Commander Laura Hayes aboard USS Sentinel agreed to hold position, but the massive warship still loomed threateningly. Kyle felt the pressure clearly one wrong move could escalate everything into a disaster. Dr. Mia Simmons and Nira continued decoding messages. They soon found more disturbing evidence. Gregory Shaw planned to provoke open conflict, hoping humanity would dominate the galaxy through aggression. Mia shivered at the thought, sharing the information urgently with Kyle and Olivia. "We must show Commander Hayes these messages," Kyle said firmly. "She must understand fully what we're dealing with." Olivia quickly agreed, contacting USS Sentinel. Commander Hayes reviewed the information silently. When she spoke again, her voice had softened but remained firm. "I understand, Ambassador Turner. My ship remains defensive, but we trust your efforts to resolve this quickly." Kyle felt relief at Hayes' cautious support. He turned to Ambassador Talia, seeing her quiet strength and resolve clearly. "We must unite fully against this threat," he said calmly. "Agreed," Talia replied firmly. "We stand with you, Ambassador Turner." Back aboard Aurora, Ethan's teams moved carefully through the ship. Ethan approached engineering silently, knowing traders were nearby. Suddenly, one trader emerged from the shadows, attempting escape. Ethan and his team quickly surrounded him, forcing surrender without violence. "Who else is involved?" "Ethan," demanded sharply. The trader hesitated, but soon admitted that Shaw had followers across several sections of Aurora. Ethan reported this immediately to Kyle, emphasizing the importance of cautious action. Kyle shared Ethan's findings with Olivia and Talia. The realization that Shaw's betrayal reached deeper was unsettling. Mia and Nira intensified their search, looking deeper into the messages for any clues about Shaw's next move. Ryan Ellis discovered more unauthorized signals sent to USS Sentinel, falsely suggesting the Zoltar were preparing an attack. He quickly neutralized these false transmissions, ensuring Commander Hayes received accurate information. Commander Hayes responded immediately. "Ambassador Turner, we've detected corrected signals. USS Sentinel is standing down defensive measures. Temporarily, we're trusting your efforts." "Thank you, Commander," Kyle replied gratefully. The tension aboard the Zoltar ship eased slightly, giving everyone room to think clearly. Mia suddenly called Kyle urgently. "Ambassador, we found something crucial." Shaw's final message indicates he's planning another sabotage aboard Aurora, something big enough to force immediate conflict. Kyle felt cold fear. "Any idea what he's targeting?" "The ship's engines," Mia answered quickly. "If Aurora's engines explode, it could damage the Zoltar ship and provoke USS Sentinel into immediate attack." Kyle quickly alerted Olivia and Ethan. Olivia reacted instantly, ordering security teams to secure engineering. Ethan, already near the engines, led his teams carefully, aware of potential danger. Ryan monitored sensors closely, detecting abnormal energy signatures and engineering. Inside engineering, Ethan's team faced a tense situation. Several saboteurs confronted them, holding weapons. Ethan stepped forward carefully, speaking calmly. "We know about Shaw's plans," Ethan said firmly. "Surrender peacefully, and no one will be harmed." The traitors hesitated, their leader visibly uncertain. Ethan maintained his calm but determined stance, hoping to avoid unnecessary violence. After tense moments, the traitors slowly laid down their weapons, choosing surrender over destruction. Ethan quickly secured the engines, disabling hidden explosives carefully. Relief flooded through him as he reported its success to Kyle and Olivia. "Engineering is secure," Ethan said clearly. "The saboteurs are captured." Kyle felt immense relief. immediately sharing the news with Ambassador Tylia and Commander Hayes. Hayes acknowledged the update, fully standing down USS Sentinel's aggressive posture. "Thank you, Ambassador Turner," Hayes said sincerely. "Your leadership prevented a tragic outcome." Ambassador Tylia turned to Kyle, gratitude clear in her gentle eyes. "Your quick action saved us all." "It was a team effort," Kyle replied humbly, feeling immense gratitude towards everyone involved. Yet Kyle knew their task was incomplete. Gregory Shaw was still free, his true whereabouts unknown. The threat to humanity and the Zoltar remained. Until Shaw was captured. "We must find Shaw," Kyle stated firmly. "You won't stop until forced to." Olivia agreed immediately, contacting Earth's leadership for assistance. Earth promised full support, understanding the urgency clearly. Mia and Nira continued their careful search, finally uncovering Shaw's likely hiding place, a small, abandoned outpost near their current location. Commander Hayes offered USS Sentinel support in capturing Shaw. Kyle accepted gratefully, planning carefully with Hayes, Olivia, and Tylia. A joint mission was swiftly organized, including human and Zoltar security teams. As the teams prepared, Kyle felt tension return, knowing the coming confrontation could define humanity's future. Ambassador Tylia sensed Kyle's concern, gently placing her hand on his shoulder. "We faced this together," she said reassuringly. Kyle nodded, appreciating her calm strength. Together, humans and Zoltar approached the abandoned outpost cautiously, expecting resistance. USS Sentinel provided clear surveillance, detecting signs of activity. "Shaw is definitely here," Commander Hayes confirmed. Kyle and Ethan led their team silently into the outpost. They moved carefully, aware Shaw could have traps ready. As they entered, Shaw's voice suddenly echoed through the outpost. "You're making a mistake," Shaw called out harshly. "Humanity deserves more than diplomacy." "Violence isn't strength," Kyle responded firmly. "Our strength comes from cooperation and trust." "You're weak," Shaw sneered bitterly. "I'll show you true strength." Suddenly, Shaw's followers attacked, gunfire erupting through the corridors. Kyle and Ethan's teams quickly responded, using strategic movements to gain advantage without unnecessary violence. After a tense battle, Shaw's followers surrendered, overwhelmed by the determined cooperation between human and Zoltar forces. Shaw, cornered but defiant, confronted Kyle angrily. "You've doomed humanity," Shaw spat furiously. "No," Kyle replied strongly, calmly facing Shaw. "We've secured humanity's true future, a future of peace and cooperation." With Shaw finally captured, relief and satisfaction spread through the teams. Ambassador Tylia and Commander Hayes expressed sincere thanks, praising Kyle's leadership. Back aboard Aurora, Kyle reported Shaw's capture to Earth, receiving relieved praise. Mia and Nira celebrated quietly, their friendship strengthened by their shared experience. Olivia commended Ethan and Ryan, recognizing their crucial contributions. Kyle stood again beside Ambassador Tylia, feeling profound gratitude and hope. Despite the crisis, their bonds had strengthened greatly. Together, humanity and the Zoltar had faced adversity and emerged stronger, united by trust and cooperation. Kyle knew challenges remained, but this experience taught them invaluable lessons. Standing shoulder to shoulder with their new allies, humanity was ready to embrace its future among the stars, stronger and wiser than ever. Kyle felt the tension in the air thicken as everyone stared at the massive Terran warship hovering silently outside. Ambassador Tylia looked deeply unsettled, glancing at Kyle with questioning eyes. He knew he had to act quickly before confusion turned into panic. "Ambassador Tylia," Kyle spoke calmly, though his heart raced, "let me contact our ship immediately. This is unexpected, but we will handle it. Please trust me." Tylia hesitated briefly, but nodded. "I trust your intentions, Ambassador Turner." Captain Olivia Grant moved swiftly, contacting the Aurora. "Aurora, this is Grant. What's happening out there?" "Captain, came the strained voice of Ethan Brooks. The warship identifies as USS Sentinel. Under Commander Laura Hayes, they claim they're responding to a threat. A threat? Olivia asked sharply, disbelief clear in her voice. Yes, Ethan replied quickly. Apparently, they received distress signals indicating hostility from the Zother. Kyle immediately sensed something terribly wrong. That's impossible. There's been no hostility. Someone must have sent false signals. Mia Simmons stepped closer, quietly saying, "We need proof quickly." Ambassador Tylia, is there any chance we can show them our peaceful intent? Tylia agreed. Urgently, follow me to the control room. We record everything during diplomatic visits. We can show these records as proof. They hurried along brightly lit corridors, urgency propelling their steps. Inside the control room, technicians rapidly prepared the records. Kyle activated a communication channel with USS Sentinel, taking a deep breath before speaking. Commander Hayes, this is Ambassador Kyle Turner aboard the Zother vessel. Your information is incorrect. Our interaction with the Zother has been entirely peaceful. Please hold your position. Commander Laura Hayes responded coldly, her voice stern. Ambassador Turner, our intelligence clearly indicates otherwise. Provide evidence immediately or prepare for intervention. We're sending you the recordings now, Kyle replied, keeping his voice calm despite his anxiety. Mia and Tylia worked rapidly to transmit clear and complete recordings of their diplomatic exchange. Moments passed painfully slowly as the files uploaded to USS Sentinel. Finally, Commander Hayes responded, tension still evident. We're reviewing your data, Ambassador Turner. Stand by. Meanwhile, aboard Aurora, Technician Ryan Ellis and security. Officer Ethan Brooks urgently investigated the strange signals Ryan had detected earlier. Ellis traced the signals to an isolated maintenance area. Ethan led a small team quickly to the location, finding concealed equipment that had sent false distress signals. Someone deliberately set this up, Ethan muttered angrily. But who would? Sabotage our first contact? Ryan asked, deeply troubled. I don't know, Ethan said grimly, but we need to find out fast. Back on the Zother ship, Kyle and Olivia waited anxiously. Tylia stood quietly, clearly upset yet maintaining remarkable composure. Mia, standing beside Zother scientist Nira, whispered softly, reassuring their new friends. Commander Hayes finally responded, her tone slightly softer. Ambassador Turner, your records indicate peaceful interactions. However, we must investigate. Further, stay where you are until we resolve this fully. Understood, Kyle acknowledged, relief mixing with lingering tension. Tylia turned to Kyle with gratitude. Thank you, Ambassador Turner. Kyle nodded, still uneasy. We're not out of danger yet. Whoever did this might try again. Suddenly, alarms blared aboard Aurora. Ethan's voice urgently sounded through Kyle's communicator. Ambassador, we found sabotage equipment aboard Aurora. Someone wants conflict between us and the Zother. Kyle felt sick, realizing the sabotage wasn't just misinformation, but a carefully planned betrayal. Who would do this? We don't know. Yet, Ethan replied urgently, but we're searching the ship thoroughly. Kyle shared Ethan's discovery with Olivia, Mia, and Tylia. Olivia looked deeply disturbed, recognizing the fragile peace could shatter at any moment. We must find these saboteurs immediately, Olivia said sharply. Commander Hayes must also be informed. Kyle quickly contacted Hayes again, sharing Ethan's findings. Hayes listened silently before responding. We will stand by but remain alert. Solve this quickly, Ambassador. Understood, Kyle replied, feeling the weight of responsibility heavier than ever. On Aurora, Ethan and Ryan urgently pursued every lead. Security teams scoured the ship, uncovering hidden sabotage devices. But the saboteurs remained hidden. Clearly skilled and determined. Mia and Nira, meanwhile, carefully examined communication logs on the Zother ship, searching for unusual activity. Mia noticed strange encrypted messages buried deep within the data, Nira, look at this, Mia said quietly. These messages indicate someone was communicating secretly with Aurora. Nira stared, astonished. Then the betrayal involves both our peoples. Yes, Mia said sadly. Someone wants conflict badly enough to destroy all our trust. Kyle's mind raced, desperately seeking answers. We must reassure our leaders on Earth, he said firmly. They must understand exactly what's happening. Olivia nodded, immediately contacting Earth's leadership, clearly explaining the delicate situation. Earth responded with cautious support, urging quick resolution. Hours passed tensely as investigations continued. Aurora's crew felt betrayed and anxious. Knowing their reputation and humanity's future were at stake, Kyle sat quietly beside Ambassador. Tylia, both leaders troubled yet united in their determination to overcome this challenge. I never imagined our first meeting would be like this, Tylia said softly. Neither did I, Kyle admitted honestly. But perhaps overcoming this will prove our friendship. Yes, Tylia agreed warmly. Adversity often strengthens bonds. Back on Aurora, Ethan and Ryan finally found crucial evidence, security footage of crew members accessing restricted areas where sabotage equipment had been placed. The faces were obscured, but it was clear these were trusted individuals. Inform Ambassador Turner immediately, Ethan commanded urgently. Kyle received the news sullenly, shocked that traitors had infiltrated their mission. We must apprehend them quickly, he insisted. Olivia coordinated security measures swiftly, locking down the ship's vital areas and increasing vigilance. Ethan's teams moved cautiously, determined to capture the traitors without causing further panic. As tension filled Aurora and the Zoltar ship alike, Mia and Nira continued their work, slowly decoding the encrypted messages. Finally, they discovered the sender's identity, a former human military leader named Gregory Shaw. Known for extremist views, Kyle relayed this grim news immediately. Olivia's eyes darkened with recognition. Shaw was dishonorably discharged for advocating violent expansion. He's dangerous. Commander Hayes confirmed their fears. Shaw disappeared months ago. We thought he'd fled. Now we know he planned this. We must stop him, Kyle said with determination. This could ruin humanity's future in the galaxy. Tylia stood beside Kyle, resolute. You are not alone, Ambassador Turner. We will help. Kyle felt a deep sense of gratitude and unity. Despite the sabotage, this crisis brought their peoples closer, united against a common threat. Together, they would overcome this challenge. Kyle knew the path ahead would be difficult. Shaw's betrayal threatened everything. But alongside the Zoltar and his dedicated team, he found hope. Let's finish this, Kyle declared strongly. Prepare for whatever came next. Kyle Turner stood at the observation window aboard the exploration ship Aurora, gazing at the vast expanse of stars. The endless darkness held tiny points of brilliant light, distant worlds he could barely imagine. As Earth's ambassador, Kyle had spent years preparing for this moment. Humanity was about to meet the Zoltar Federation, an advanced civilization known for their peaceful ways and remarkable technology. His heart raced at the idea of what awaited them. Behind him, Dr. Mia Simmons, a scientist specializing in alien cultures, checked her tablet for the 100th time. Her fingers trembled slightly, betraying her nervous excitement. Mia had spent her entire career dreaming about meeting beings from other worlds, and now her dream was becoming a reality. The Aurora had traveled for weeks, carefully coordinating the details of this first meeting. Now the moment had come. The ship's captain, Olivia Grant, approached them. Olivia was a strong leader known for her calm and steady decisions. We're about to enter Zoltar space, she said quietly. Everything ready? As ready as we can be, Kyle replied with a smile. His voice was steady, hiding his own worries. Good. Olivia nodded, her voice confident. Let's make history. Minutes later, the Aurora entered the designated coordinates. Suddenly, a massive ship appeared in front of them, shimmering silver against the dark void. The Zolther ship was unlike anything they'd seen, beautiful, sleek, and peaceful in appearance. A transmission arrived almost instantly, clear and welcoming. "Greetings, humans. We are honored by your arrival. Welcome to the Zolther Federation." The voice was smooth and calm, comforting despite its alien origin. Kyle stepped forward, breathing deeply before responding. "Thank you." Kyle spoke carefully, clearly. "We come in peace and friendship. It is a great honor for humanity." The Zolther responded warmly, inviting Kyle, Mia, and Olivia aboard their ship for the initial meeting. They accepted the invitation eagerly, understanding the significance of this moment. Kyle, Mia, and Olivia boarded a shuttle, silently marveling at the technology that guided them smoothly to the Zolther vessel. As they docked, Kyle felt his excitement and anxiety mingle into an intense sensation. This was humanity's first step into the vast universe, and he hoped it would be a positive one. The Zolther awaited them in the docking bay. Their appearance was striking, tall and slender, with shimmering skin that seemed to change colors subtly as they moved. Their large, gentle eyes radiated intelligence and kindness. The lead Zolther stepped forward and introduced herself as Ambassador Tylia. "Ambassador Turner, Dr. Simmons, Captain Grant." Tylia's voice was gentle, welcoming. "It is wonderful to finally meet face to face." Kyle bowed slightly in respect, responding, "Ambassador Tylia, the pleasure is truly ours. We have dreamed of this day. Please, follow me." Tylia gestured gracefully. They walked through corridors filled with soft lights and tranquil colors. Kyle noticed how calming the environment was, designed specifically for peace and harmony. Mia's eyes widened as she quietly noted everything she observed. Fascinated by every detail, they soon arrived in a spacious meeting room with curved walls and comfortable seating. Refreshments awaited them, placed carefully to demonstrate the Zolther's hospitality. As everyone settled, Tylia began to speak openly about their civilization, sharing stories and explaining their peaceful ways. Kyle listened carefully, noting how similar many of their values were to humanity's own ideals. It filled him with hope that their species could genuinely become close allies. He shared humanity's history and aspirations, highlighting their desire for peace and collaboration. Mia spoke next, explaining Earth's diverse cultures and how humans were eager to learn from others. Her voice carried passion, clearly impressing their hosts. Captain Olivia quietly observed, offering occasional insights, carefully considering how their technologies and tactics could peacefully coexist. Hours passed in warm, genuine conversation. Both sides openly expressed their desire for friendship and collaboration. Kyle felt relief and satisfaction. This was exactly what they'd hoped for, a peaceful, welcoming introduction to a powerful and kind species. As the initial meeting concluded, Ambassador Tylia suggested a celebration, a gathering that would mark their newly formed friendship. Kyle gladly accepted, knowing how important cultural exchanges were to building lasting bonds. Mia eagerly discussed plans with a Zolther scientist named Nira, already forming the beginnings of a strong friendship. Returning to the Aurora briefly, Kyle reported the successful meeting to Earth's leaders, sharing his optimism and excitement. Olivia ensured the Aurora remained alert, aware that diplomacy always carried risks despite the positive beginning. Technician Ryan Ellis sat at his console, carefully monitoring signals. He paused, noticing an odd fluctuation in one of the subspace channels. It was brief and barely noticeable. Ryan frowned, checking his equipment carefully, but found nothing unusual. Deciding it was just a minor anomaly, he dismissed it for now, focusing on other tasks. The time for celebration arrived quickly, and Kyle, Mia, and Olivia rejoined the Zolther aboard their ship. The Zolther had transformed the Grand Hall into a festive space filled with soft lights and calming music. Both humans and Zolther mingled comfortably, exchanging laughter, stories, and mutual curiosity. Kyle found himself deeply engaged in a discussion with Tylia, feeling increasingly comfortable around their new allies. Mia and Nira stood nearby, absorbed in conversation about science and culture. Olivia moved around the room, observing carefully, smiling warmly when engaged. As the celebration reached its height, a sudden alarm sounded softly, interrupting the joyful mood. Kyle immediately saw concern flicker across Talia's face, her expression becoming serious. "Is something wrong?" Kyle asked gently, worried. "I'm not certain," Talia replied softly. This alarm signifies an unexpected communication disruption. Across the hall, Captain Olivia instantly became alert. Sensing trouble, Dr. Mia turned quickly toward Kyle, her expression uncertain. The Zoltar technicians quickly tried to identify the problem, while Kyle and Olivia quietly exchanged glances, both knowing the fragile nature of first contact. An interruption like this could escalate into misunderstanding or even conflict if not handled carefully. "Please remain calm," Talia said to the gathering softly. "I'm sure this is only a minor technical issue." Kyle nodded, staying close to reassure her. Yet, he couldn't ignore the unease slowly creeping into the room. The peaceful atmosphere was suddenly charged with cautious tension. Back aboard the Aurora, Ryan Ellis noticed another strange signal fluctuation, stronger this time. He immediately reported to his superior, Ethan Brooks, the security officer. Ethan considered carefully. Deciding to investigate further. In the Zoltar Hall, technicians continued working frantically. Just as Kyle started feeling relieved that the issue might soon be resolved, a sudden powerful presence disrupted the calm. Outside the window, clearly visible to everyone, a massive Terran warship abruptly uncloaked, its dark shape overshadowing the Zoltar vessel. Kyle's heart sank, confusion and disbelief washing over him. The warship, with its unmistakably aggressive posture, threatened everything they'd achieved. Ambassador Talia turned to Kyle, confusion and hurt in her eyes. "What is the meaning of this?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Kyle struggled to find words, equally shocked and confused. "I don't know," he whispered honestly, his voice barely audible. The moment that had begun so beautifully now hung on the edge of disaster, and Kyle knew their future depended on the decisions made. In the coming moments,